Hey guys, Bridget here. In this video, we're going to talk about hourly pricing compared to fixed pricing or project-based pricing. Now, this is a question which a student of mine of the Getting Started in UI UX Design course asked me. And basically, he asked which one is the better solution for a UI UX designer. So I would say that having tried both, I would say that there are pros and cons to each. And it also depends on which stage in your career you're at. And let me explain. So when it comes to hourly pricing, I think that it's very beneficial, especially as you're early or an intermediate designer, since you're still learning the ropes and you don't really have a clear idea as to what how much time it might take for you to complete a given project, or you don't really know all of the possible hurdles that are going to come. So it's really useful to start with hourly pricing. In my opinion, you start with a low hourly pricing and then you move up your rates as you go. However, the issue I think starts to come when you start to become pretty good at what you do, and you're actually being punished by charging hourly. And I myself, I've actually been a fan of hourly pricing for a long time. But recently, and by recently, I'm referring to the past, say maybe like 1 years or 1 year and a half. I actually started analyzing and considering fixed pricing or project-based pricing much more. Now, brief disclaimer: I'm working full-time for a company, so not really looking to find freelance work anymore, at least for quite a long time, until I'm going to go back to the freelance world. But the thing is that when you're doing when you already have experience and you're doing fixed projects, I think that you can definitely charge more on average. But it's not only that, because the issue with hourly pricing is that when you set up a contract with an hourly rate, what I noticed by freelancing is that a lot of the times clients might tell you, oh, I'm going to have a lot of work in the coming weeks or months, and maybe that's not the case, or maybe they just overvalue the amount of hours which you would potentially need to allocate to a given project. So say that they are expecting 60 hours, but then it turns out that you're really good, fast and efficient, and you manage to complete that project in 15 hours, which I know it might sound crazy, but sometimes these things happen. And what do you do then? Like, do you quadruple your rate that you initially created, even though you brought the same amount of value? That's not feasible. And also another thing to consider is that there's a cap as to the hourly rate that you can charge usually. And it's also, and this is especially true if you're working remotely, like I've been doing for the past, I would say 7 to 8 years. And because people usually and clients will consider your hourly rate in comparison to other ones. So when you start hitting those, 50, 70, $100 per hour, things start to become tricky. Not saying that you cannot find clients which are willing to pay a high hourly rate, but you're going to have to do more lead generation, or you're going to have to have a really strong network of contacts and really find the right people, because on average people are not really going to work with high hourly rates. And I'm not necessarily saying that even the ones that they mentioned are like super high, but when you're starting to work remotely, those are usually the the moments where you start hitting a ceiling. But again, there's other clients that are willing to pay like much higher hourly rates. Really depends, but I don't want to go into a tangent here. The main thing to consider is that hourly pricing starts to have its pitfalls when you have a lot of experience, and especially when you want to structure a project in a structured way. Because say that you have 5 clients and the expectation was to work 20 hours for each and every one of those given clients. Some clients are going to require more hourly work, other ones less. But as you're becoming more expert in this and you create buffers, I think that most often than not, you're actually going to underestimate or actually overestimate the time that you're going to work, because you're just going to become very efficient. So fixed pricing, project-based pricing, I think can definitely be the way to go in those instances. However, if there is a client which needs maybe like some updates here and there or some maintenance work, just doing a contract with hourly structure still works really well. I actually have a client which likes to work in that fashion. It doesn't really like require any fixed project in those instances, because maybe it's like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours of work a month, something like around those lines. So don't really need to create a fixed pricing in that case. But I would say that, again, it depends, but just consider these elements that I mentioned. And I hope this video was helpful, and I'm curious to hear your opinion on fixed pricing or hourly pricing. So feel free to let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.